So how does infinite banking help chiropractors, and I used to be one, healthcare providers, physicians, physical therapists, anyone in that scenario that owns their own business? We can help in a lot of ways because you can literally, you're financing your business. And so when you finance your business, I think I've touched on this before. Again, I'm not a tax professional, but I've done this myself in my businesses where I have financed things for my business and my business paid it back with interest. And usually it was a higher interest rate than whatever the insurance company was charging me. And I got a write-off for it on the interest that was paid out. It works. It's another way of leveraging. You're not having to ask a bank to get approval and provide them all of your books and your bank account statements and personal guarantees and all this other stuff. This is a way that you can have your money grow, again, 2 times. I'll emphasize this 2 times. And some people talk about your dollars working exponentially, but I look at it as working 2 times. It's working in 2 different places. It's working in your policy because of the compound interest. It is going to continue growing pretty much without you do, no matter what you do. It's going to continue growing. You borrow against that. All you got to do is request the loan. It takes moments. That money gets you fund that money into your business, and your business utilizes it for whatever purpose to grow, or maybe it's inventory, or just depending on what kind of business you're in. For healthcare providers, especially people who do things that are related to physical medicine, so chiropractors, physical therapists, whether you're an orthopedic surgeon or orthopedist in some way, doctor of osteopathy, whatever, you deal with physical medicine type of things, things where you might have some rehab involved, or maybe there's pain injections or whatever. You do some durable medical equipment. You do back bracing, knee bracing, ankle bracing. With that, you can even utilize this to where you basically get that for free because of the growth you're getting over here, and you are essentially leveraging your inventory by paying for it with this money. And then you have a profit on dispensing that based on whatever insurance reimbursements are. And I know this very well because I actually have another business that I actually sell the equipment and I wholesale it to providers. That's a whole other deal. But, I did it in mind. That kind of grew out of need and necessity. I used to do a lot of it in my practice. And I was trying to get my prices down as low as possible. And I was basically trying to aggregate a whole bunch of people to do this and get them all together. Maybe aggregate is not the best word, but anyway, I was trying to get a bunch of people together so we could get our buying power up and our prices down. And I did that, and now it's become like a side business, and it just kind of kept going, and I still do it to this day. It's, I don't know, that's just supplemental. But if anybody's interested in that, you feel free to reach out to me. I do have a website and whatnot for all of that, but that's not what this is about. I'm sorry. I got off on a rabbit trail. Anyway, but you're able to buy that equipment and you're able to make a profit on that equipment, on the patients that need it, and you're receiving reimbursement for it. And then over here, you're paying it off, and so what? You pay a little bit of interest, but the money comes back. You get a write-off for the interest, so that comes off of your taxable income, right? In theory, again, consult your tax professional, and you're getting uninterrupted compound interest within the bank that you started while that's all taking place. So it's growing over here and creating a profit over here, and then there's the potential write-off in between. So you win, realistically. So again, I always bring this back to people are like, well, why would I pay interest on this money? Well, no different than refinancing a house. Your house continues to appreciate, ideally. Not always, but most of the time. Let's just say in this scenario, it continues to grow at 4% return. Let's just say it's 4% appreciation every year. You borrow the money. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. Doesn't matter how much money you took out of it. You just borrowed the money out and you utilized it and you put it into something else to bring you in money that created a cash flow or an income. I mean, you can't lose with that. It's just leverage. And it's safe leverage. And I mean, in my opinion, it's amazing. So for healthcare providers, if you're not doing this, you should be. Down below, ask any questions. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So whenever we do provide more content, hopefully, it comes out and it's useful for you. And, like I say, I repeat myself over and over about feedback and questions and whatnot. And I'll try to address those as they come. And, as long, obviously it needs to relate to what I do and what I've talked about in my videos. But if there's questions outside of that might relate, feel free to reach out to me. Outside of that, I would say that doing this helped me tremendously. Again, I've been doing it for 13 plus years, and I did this on blind faith. I did this not even, I'm not even sure I fully understood it. I had the general idea. And realistically, if you just know the concept and you have the right person helping guide you through it, which is what I do, you start to understand it and it starts becoming easy. And it's not as complicated. For some people, it sounds complicated. It's really not. It's really not, because at the end of the day, it does not. At the end of the day, it's very functional. It's very easy to navigate. And yeah, it can get much more detailed for people who are your engineer type that want to know all the numbers and how things work and the ins and outs. And I can dive as deep in the weeds as you want on those things for those people who want to get into that. But I would say before you jump in the weeds, I would say that you should get started, for the simple fact that the deeper you go in the weeds, the more you're going to be analysis paralysis kind of thing. I sometimes tend to overwhelm people with information because there's a lot of cool things, and I made sure, based on not only my experiences personally, but as an agent, what I do now, that I actually can advise people on these things. And if they have those deeper questions, I provide an answer. So, but I try not to data dump, is what I talked about in the previous video. I try not to data dump on people, and it's very hard for me not to, but because it becomes overwhelming and then you don't understand it, and then it keeps you from wanting to do something that I personally know can help. As long as you follow the concept, you follow the formula, basically. Maybe formula is not the right way to say that, but the actual concept of doing this, you stand to benefit. And there again, this is not something that, you want to compare, because it's not technically an investment. It's really not. I mean, it is a strategy. It is a way to leverage, things that are investments. It's a way to leverage opportunities. It's a way to leverage getting out of debt in some cases. For your average person, getting out of debt is priceless. And that is the number one reason that a lot of people do this particular concept. And for those of you who don't know where you're going to find money for premiums and stuff, I try to partner with other agents that do other things like health insurance and like property and casualty, which would be like insuring your cars and your homes and whatnot, and try to work with them so they can save you some money, because you're probably paying, a significant more going through some of the bigger companies. And in some cases, you can go through somebody independent like these guys, and you can pay a lower rate because they're going to pay more attention to your coverage and whatnot. They're going to try to save you money, and then that money you save, we can reallocate that into, setting up your bank. But I'm getting off of the subject, but that helps create that, because we don't want to change your lifestyle when you do this. And the whole idea of the infinite banking is to build this wealth and not change your current lifestyle. And hopefully, as time goes on, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, this will change your lifestyle. And you will have that extra money to take whatever vacation you want, or buy that car you want, or whatever the case may be. You have the flexibility and the change in your actual at your disposal. So for the healthcare providers that do this, or that have been doing this, it's a beautiful thing. And if you have been doing this, I would love the opportunity to review your current policies and see if I could set you up better, because there are ways of maximizing your policy, potentially even more so than it is not the existing one. I can't change the existing ones, and I would never tell you to cancel those either, because they're existing banks. They're going to grow. It's going to benefit you. You keep it in place. But if you're looking at doing more, for those of you who do this on a regular basis as well, especially the healthcare providers that I know, and a lot of chiropractors do this, and there's no reason that physicians and physical therapists and nurse practitioners and physician's assistants and nurses and everyone shouldn't be doing this that makes a good income, especially if you have a business, even if you don't have a business. I mean, this can help. And so these are great benefits to what you're already doing. It's just whether you're an individual or you're a healthcare provider. So it helps. It can help almost anyone who has someone that can help guide them and advise them on this. Anyway, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell. I might have even said that earlier, but I meant to wrap this up earlier and I kept talking. But leave your questions, comments, and all of that good stuff, and I will catch you on the next video.